if I were to categorize who I enjoy listening to, it's guys with a bit more funk and a bit more punch in their calls. I feel like guys like Gus Johnson, Kevin Harlan, Matt Vasgersian, they have their own type of flair, and they don't really fall within the norms of just general commentators. And not just to discredit other commentators, they're all great, but I feel like these guys just might stick out from the rest just because they have their own type of flair. And it kind of ties into my next one on the list, because I feel like this guy's pretty vanilla majority of the time. I feel like he's got a big name. He's been around forever in North American sports, but I feel like for the most part, he's really bland. But this one moment, I feel like he captured it well, was Joe Buck's call of the Minnesota Vikings walk-off win versus the New Orleans Saints. Case Keenum to Stephon Diggs down the sidelines to win and send themselves, was it to the NL, or to, excuse me, the NL, we're thinking baseball here. Was it the NFC Championship? Game. Yes.
Against the eventual champion Philadelphia Eagles. I
don't know if you agree with my take. That's a good call. I'm going to give Joe Buck the benefit, like the to get onto this list with that one call. I'm sure he's had other great ones, but I want to know, do you feel the same way? Do you feel like he's not the flashiest of commentators? I look back to as a classic example of that is David Freese's walk-off win in with a walk-off hit to win with a home run to center field. Was it in the World Series against Texas? Against Texas.
It was in the World Series game 6.
All he says was, "That's it to center field, and we'll see you tomorrow night." That's all he gave for a walk-off win in the World Series. I feel like he's a bit vanilla at times.
Okay, here's my thing on Joe Buck. I think if you look earlier on in his career, there's one call in particular that stands out. There's this random like Green Bay Packers Philadelphia Eagles game. I think it was those two teams, but I know the Eagles were in it. And Freddie Mitchell, longtime receiver for the Eagles, is making this return. And he's running up the field. It's a pretty exciting run, even though he does get tackled like a couple yards short of of the red zone. But this is Joe Buck the whole time. Mitchell.
I heard that one. Mitchell. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
That is one of the most boring calls you could ever hear from Joe Buck. But I feel that from those days, he's gotten progressively better. In the last few years, including that call you referenced off top, the Minnesota Miracle, he's learned to have a bit more fun and a bit more energy in the booth. One other call you could have mentioned where he was actually a bit more vanilla, and I'll get to David Freese in a second. 2007, 2008 Super Bowl, Patriots, Giants, David Tyree catch. Go back and listen to that David Tyree catch, the Fox call. That was not... that's one of the most insane plays in Super Bowl history. A guy catches a ball holds it onto his helmet and finds a way to bring it down. I don't think Joe Buck called that well at all. It was very boring and really he's trying to figure out everything. And he it's one thing if you're scrambled and you're trying to figure stuff out and hey, maybe you can be a bit composed, but
dude, I don't know. Different leagues than the guys we've mentioned. The next one I want to bring up, keep the David Tyree example in your brain. Kevin Harlan has had a more entertaining streaker call than you could argue than anything Joe Buck has called in his career.
Wow, that's tough. That is quite. I mean, you could totally make the argument for that. I guess it's just wow. That I don't know if I'd say that. I'll let you hang on with that take. But damn, that's wild. I'll say this though. I think Joe, if you go back and you listen to that 2011 World Series, Joe Buck, his voice did not sound well at all. He sounded like he was sick. So I feel like this is just my view. I'm not going to hold the 2011 World Series on Joe Buck. I think he was clearly dealing with something and he probably just tried to trudge through it. But I don't think dude was being vanilla. I think dude had something going on with his voice or whatever, and he just couldn't give that play justice. Even go to the David Freese tying hit, or he's trying to call it and he's even saying that ball's going to the wall. It's off the wall. You can hear how his voice sounds. He sounds tired. There's not a lot of energy. I think it's more than just him being vanilla. I think something.
But you do agree that majority of the time he is kind of vanilla.
I'll say that like the last few
Or
years
he's gotten better.
a little better.
Yeah.
He's gotten better, but like I don't know if there are some guys who I think are a bit more energetic. Yeah. And I'll say this. If you think Joe Buck is vanilla, I'm really curious what you think about Pat Summerall then.